because we used to have to hunt and fish and go through difficulty to survive. And I often see that when I speak to people who are too comfortable, they end up being unhappy. You must earn happiness. You must climb a mountain. You must struggle yourself to happiness. That's extremely important. There must be physical, mental, social, some kind of spiritual struggle. And those things being satisfied is what's going to satisfy you. The only other alternative to that, to feel good, is hedonism. And that's not going to satisfy you for very long. And it's also going to destroy your life. And the starting block to all of these things is your body. Try and train MMA, learn how to fight, get stronger, get bigger muscles. It's a fast track to self-discipline, which will carry over into all other endeavors. In fact, how many people can say the gym saved their life? That is the easiest struggle, which is never going to backfire on you and never going to be a negative towards any other facet of your life. I actually find it amazing that there's people out there who aren't in perfect physical condition. Guys, let me tell you all a newsflash. If you eat right and you train hard, you look good. It's almost impossible to be fat and look bad if you eat right and train hard. So why don't you all look like superheroes? Do you not understand how intimidating that is just when they look at a group of people and they all look like superheroes and they can tell they're all disciplined, all dedicated, all physically strong? The struggle is what's beautiful about it. First, you want to become as strong as physically possible. Next, you want to try and make as much money as possible. Not even necessarily for the money, although money is extremely important, so it allows you to take care of yourself, but there's a challenge involved, and solving that challenge is going to make you feel more satisfied as a human. Happiness comes from success, and making money is success. What did Napoleon say? Glory is fleeting, but obscurity is forever. And when he says fleeting, that's a really good point, because everything in life is rented, especially your glory as a man. When you have a good body, it is not a good body as complete. It's not finished. You haven't completed the task. You have rented that good physical condition. You must train every day to retain it. You don't just get a good body and you're done. You still have to go to the gym every day to maintain that good body. You don't just get a hot girl and it's done. You still have to work hard for her to always love you and respect you. You don't just start a business and now you're rich. No, you have to start a business and work on that business every day. If you take your eye off the business, it will fail. Everything in life is rented. So when he says glory is fleeting, he's also absolutely not correct. You have to constantly and endlessly work for it and make sure that you never stop. Otherwise, it will be taken from you. But obscurity is forever. If you never make a mark on the world, then you effectively never existed. And when you're gone, nobody will care. And this is genuine choice for you people at home. Do you want to live in obscurity forever and be invisible and not matter and have an easier life? I would argue that it's not easier, because in your heart and in your soul, you're going to feel guilty knowing you could have been something you're not, and you have a duty to your ancestors and to God to be the best version of yourself. Or do you want to try your absolute best and struggle and suffer every day of your life, paying the rent for all of the amazing things around you? We pay endless rent. We pay rent for our bodies. We pay rent for our relationships. We pay rent to keep our kids. We pay rent to keep our business. We pay rent to keep our freedom. Every single day is work to pay the rent. It's absolutely never ending, and you have to make that choice. So if you have a pen and paper in front of you, you need to decide. Do you want to be invisible with a lower rent bill, or do you want to be important and suffer to make sure that the rent is paid? It's a choice you must make, and it's binary, and you must be extremely dedicated towards the decision you finally make. And it's very difficult, as most of you men are just finding yourselves trying to figure out what and who you should be in a culture with little to no proper guidance. If you remove me from the internet, you have a whole bunch of loudmouths who have not achieved anything amazing or remarkable in their real lives, who don't act in a respectful way, who have not had any real world achievements. There's a few people I can name who aren't like that, but we're generalizing. And then you have a largely matriarchal society and a matriarchal education system that you're beholden to. So who's teaching you to be a man? If you're fortunate enough to have a fantastic father, great. But if you don't, there are very little lessons, and there's basically no guidance out there explaining to you the self-accountability which is required to be a man. Everything we were just saying to you earlier about making the choice of being invisible or being highly important and paying the rent for one of those two choices, that's based around absolute and utter brutal self-accountability. You must accept the decision you want to make, and you must accept that everything is your fault. Everything is on your shoulders, regardless of what God throws at you. People are afraid of accepting there's a problem, because then they know they have a responsibility for fixing it. And they don't want to do anything, one, because they're lazy, and two, because they're afraid they might lose. So they'd rather pretend there's no problem at all. And I think it's not always the winning and the losing. It's the fighting in the first place. And there's plenty of men in history you remember who ended up losing in the end, who still fought, which is why they matter. It's not, if you're only going to fight when you're guaranteed to win, then no bravery is required. Forget about the winning and losing for now. Focus on the fight. If you do not overcome your tendency to give up so easily, your life will lead to nothing. Fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision. You have to train your mind to be stronger than your emotions, especially your impulses, or else you're going to lose yourself. Most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by men who kept fighting and there seemed to be no hope though. Why go to the gym? Why get strong? Why work hard? Why get rich? Why be funny? Why be charismatic? Why do anything? It doesn't matter. The world's going to end. Sit in your paws. Wait for the food delivery. That's what they want from all of us. They want all of us to have absolutely no ambition and to sit there and be slave-minded. It's very difficult to resist enslavement if you need the government to eat. I find it amazing that men will sit and watch movies about prisoners of war in Japan, or watch movies about men who go to war and risk their lives, or watch all these hero movies, have admiration for the hero, and they believe themselves to be some version of a hero, and then they're too afraid to say no to putting on a mask. If you're not going to say no to putting on a mask, don't watch hero movies anymore, because you're certainly not a hero. You are one of the villains. You're the stupid little henchmen who get beaten up. Those guys who are on screen for a flash of a second and die without consequence. Nobody even cares or mentions them again. Their family don't even get to give them a funeral. You're a nobody villain. You're not even an important one. The important villains, we know their names. You're a number. You're not a name. And if you want to be a superhero in life, you need to understand that for 80% of the movie, you're going to suffer. For 80% of the movie, you're going to lose. Watch any superhero movie. For 80% of the movie, it is nothing but pain and frustration. And when your life is that way, you have a chance to grow into something fantastic, and you should thank God for every difficult thing He puts in your path. I really believe God's giving me one of the best lives. I can't complain about anything bad that's happened. It's all been better. I'm truly thankful. Thank you, God, for that difficulty. I think if a couple bad things happen to you, you should be intelligent enough to realize that eventually you're going to get over it. You're going to learn an important lesson. It's going to change you in the correct direction. And Allah's the best of planners, and He knows what you need to learn. I think that as humans, especially as men, we only learn the hard way. There's no easy way to learn a lesson. You have to learn the hard way. So God gives us lessons via difficulty. He thinks you need to learn this about yourself or this about other people. So I'm going to give you a difficult time so you can learn your lessons. Because if I told you, if I just said, hey, Andrew, this is how the world works, you go, yeah. When you feel it, our fight coach used to say, you have to feel it to believe it. So God will give you a difficult time so you learn your lessons. And the lessons are very important for you to be the person who you need to be in this life. He's the best of planners. And I'm thankful for all the lessons He's given me. He's bestowed knowledge upon me. How could I not be grateful to God for making me so intelligent and wise, the ability to look into things so deeply and come up to the right decision and basically predict the future perfectly? How did I know how the world works? You have to have difficulty happening to you all the time. So when you sit and say, I want an easy life, the saying is you're a dummy, and you want to be a dummy. You want to stay a dummy. I want an easy life, and I don't want anything bad to happen to me, because even though it will teach me lessons, I'm too big of a, I can't handle the emotional pain. I can't handle the stress. So you want to stay a dumbass. If I want to be smart, then hurt. All of the wisdom I have, all of this knowledge I speak, all of these things I say have been learned through basically difficulty of life, through professional fighting and through war, and all bad things happen through struggle. All of my lessons have been bad scarring, bad situations, pain, suffering, resentment. All of these horrible emotions are how I've learned everything. So I thank God for giving them to me. And anyone who wants an easy life wants to stay a dummy. What do you learn if you just get money, you sleep with some girls, you go to some restaurant? What do you learn about anything? When bad things happen to me, I just kind of enjoy it. And I think that maybe it's perhaps I just enjoy it for the story. Perhaps my whole life is not about trying to find comfort, it's trying to find challenges, it's trying to find stories. Once you understand all of the bad things and good things that come into your life are the plan of God Himself, something bad happens to you, it's part of God's plan. He knows what He's doing. In the end, you're going to be happy it happened. I often ask people, is there anything bad that's happened to you in the past at the time you were distraught about that you now wish didn't even happen? So if you understand you're always going to get there eventually, why be upset about it now, right? If you know in a year from now you're going to happen, why be upset about it happening now? Because you're reasonable enough about things. You often find that people who are struggling that know exactly what they're supposed to do. They're getting up every day and they're grinding and they're working hard and they don't have what they want yet. It means they're going to get in. They're trying their very best and they're dedicating themselves. They're very happy. Perhaps people who want to trust money and have no struggles in their life and they have no objective objectives to try and conquer are truly the miserable ones.
I don't think between the people in this house and our group of friends, we lack anything.
Correct.
Anything. Correct. Literally anything. We can sit as a group and have a conversation about anything with anyone in the world and give useful insight and change people's lives for the better, because although I am not perfect, our team compensates one for each other.
And that's the point of brotherhood. So excel in one area if you lack in others. I have people say to me, Andrew, I'm short. What do? I'm short. Okay, go out making short. Fine, good. Doesn't matter. You can't change it. What you can do is become as strong as an ox and become filthy rich and monumentally important and extremely influential. You can do that. People say, I'm poor. You should be strong. Oh, I'm strong, but I don't have any money. Okay, then teach others to be strong.
Yes.
There's always a way you can take your advantages and use them. And by teaming up with other men, other people, you can build a team in which there are no weaknesses. So if you have a disadvantage, you also have somewhere God has given you a distinct advantage over others, and it is your duty to excel in that realm. It is your duty to become so monumentally influential and powerful within that specific criteria in which you have the capability to be brilliant, that your weaknesses no longer appear because they can be simply overshadowed by your network or overshadowed by your absolute competence. By constructing the correct mindset, you can be in the exact same scenario you're currently in, living the exact same life with a different mental model in which you view the world, and you will not only feel more powerful, you will be more powerful, you'll achieve more amazing things, you will be greater, you will be happier, with the same car, the same woman, the same house, the same income, the same everything, but your mind changes the lens in which you view the world. Lenses change things. Rose-tinted glasses, perhaps dark glasses. You can put glasses on, change the lens, and you can view the world differently by changing how your mind is constructed and put together and the way you view the world. That is the point of mental Aikido. You can have anything you want. Universe is super giving. You want a fucking Ferrari, you can have it. If you want it, you can have it. If you're sitting there saying, oh, but I tried my best and I still didn't get it, you're lying. You didn't try your best. That is a fucking lie. The universe gives to everybody. I want you to get pen and paper and write down everything you want to achieve in the next 4 years, the children you want to have, the car you want to drive, the money you want to make. I guarantee you, every single thing you write down on that piece of paper is going to come out. Because when you've come from the absolute bottom to the absolute top, and you've done it all off of your own back, and hard work, and dedication, and never missing a day, the only shortcut to life is to never miss a day. One, because of compounding interest, and two, because sometimes you get lucky. And you'll never miss a lucky day. If you don't try every day, you might miss your lucky day. And that's what people don't understand. If you never miss a day and you never don't try and you're always on time, was I late today? No, on time, and you try and improve every aspect of your life, and you're a professional, and you try and make sure that you analyze your decisions, you give yourself feedback, you don't make mistakes, you're not lazy. If you try and you make it to the top, you end up the least, because you look at the people down below and you're like, well, why didn't you try? I did. Oh, I did too. No, you didn't. It's a lie. Most of these children are so messed up from TikTok. They can't even focus on one page of a book, any book, because all they do is scroll. Have you ever seen someone on TikTok, how fast they change video?
Yeah.
Their minds are gone. You can't even sit them down and teach them anything.
That's a mental trick. You have to rewire your brain. And the reason your brain needs to be rewired is because anyone who is watching this stream below the age of 30, your brain is already broken. Watch your friends when they're on TV. How long can they even focus on it before they have to change? Half a second. All of your minds are broken. You can't even focus on it. You are distracted to the point where you can't even appreciate the good things in your life. You're distracted. Your minds are broken. You need to rewire your mind and resist the slave programming. If you cannot control your own mind, then you go through life with zero control, zero influence. You can't control anything. You're just a feather in the wind, waiting for life to blow you from happy place to sad place to happy place to sad place. Completely hoping on the gods to be fortunate to you. If any genuine discomfort comes your way, you're fucked.
Truthfully, a man, I believe, is
being able to do the things that are hard and do things you don't want to do because you're supposed to do them. I think that's what a man's always been. A man is supposed to be strong. He needs to be strong, so he has to become strong. That's his job. A man is supposed to be brave. It's not that you can't feel fear. It's that you have to be brave. Oh, an attacker's here. I'm afraid, but I'm a man, so I will go and engage the attacker. It is my job. I say that life as a man is exceptionally difficult. I say the most beautiful and the most terrifying thing about being a man is you're born without value. Society doesn't care about you. You're only going to be cared about based on how useful you are. You have the chance to build yourself up and become a superhero if you're prepared to do the hard work and you're needed enough to never quit. But if you're going to stand around and wait for a handout, nobody's going to ever respect you. I think that a lot of people have forgotten about how difficult and how competitive it is as a man. We're always in constant competition with each other. And it's your duty as a man to stand up and say, I want to be as important and strong and good-hearted and God-fearing as possible. And I need to work hard to achieve those things. I can't stop myself as a person who doesn't need money. And then there's people with no money who don't work. It blows my mind. Which is why the winners are winners and the losers are losers. Losers do a little bit of work and rest. Winners work as hard as possible and worry about working hard. It's just a separation of personality types. And it's almost like you can't save these people. I have something I sent in my email recently. I said, you could give the average man a brand new Ferrari and a road map and a coffee and a full tank of gas and tell him the destination, success. And halfway along the drive, he'll quit. How well you set it up for people, they'll do it. You may have accepted the matrix telling you that you now have an excuse to fail, as opposed to using it to grow. But every single man of value went through trauma, and they went through pain. It's going to be painful to get strong, painful to get rich, painful to become important. It's going to be painful to become good with women. Your heart's going to get broken a bunch of times. You have to be prepared for the pain. If you're not ready for pain, you're never going to be anything that matters. So Justin just absolutely nailed it. My kickboxing coach used to say to me, I used to come in the gym, say, what do you hate the most? I said, I hate it. I said, okay, you're going wrong. I said, why? He goes, because whatever you hate is what you need. Whatever you hate is what you need. I wanted to spar, bag work, pads, no problem. Running, I didn't want to run. But that's what you need. And that's what life's about. You're not going to be able to go through life avoiding pain and also becoming a man of quality. You're going to have to be that guy who's been through so much shit that you can wake up and go, this ain't nothing. This ain't nothing compared to back then. This ain't nothing compared to that time. You know, and if you're not going to be that guy, then you're going to always suffer the consequences of not being that guy. There's pain to become important, and there's pain in not being important. So you have to make a choice. So I think Justin absolutely nailed it. I think his answer is even better than mine could be. You need to find something you're afraid of, find something that can hurt you, and go do it. And that's one of the great things about being young, right? You're basically superhuman. Yeah. All of us are our age. We're all in our 30s. I remember when I was 21. Like, I had Wolverine-like healing abilities, and this is actually one of the problems with the world today. I noticed the internet's fucking us up because we have all these youngsters on our voice. They all think they know something on Twitter and on the internet, these kids, right? When I was 23, 22, I didn't know shit. I'm 35 now. I'm one of the smartest men on the planet. And when I was 23, I didn't know shit. When you're 35, you're definitely going to still be a dumbass. So when you're 23 like you are now, you don't know anything. Your only attribute is the fact you have Wolverine-like healing abilities and you're not using it. Stop talking. Start listening. Get out there. Get hurt. Get the fuck back up. You should have no interest in what people think about you. That makes you insecure. That's the darkest silence. Wake up and say, I'm not going to be successful. I'm not going to be strong. I'm not going to be go out there and test myself. I'm not going to put honor on my last name. Because I would hate for people to think I'm insecure. I'm secure, so it doesn't matter if you think I'm a loser, and it doesn't matter if I am a loser. So I'm just going to sit at home and I'm secure. No, it's not insecurity. It's called duty to your last name and honor. And that's just another one of the many different techniques inside of the psyop operates, trying to snatch your motivation left from the last name. If I was a man who was unsuccessful and I hadn't met my physical capability or my financial capability or my mental capability or my spiritual capability, I would be insecure. I would sit and say, this is a failure version. They're beyond safe because they're the worst thing you can possibly be, which is a quitter. Being a quitter is the worst thing you can possibly be. God himself can't make a quitter. Because the only reason the place you're trying to get to has value is because it's difficult to reach. If everybody could reach it, there'd be no value. Value is linked to scarcity.
The whole point gold is valuable is because it's not everywhere. If it was everywhere, it would never be valuable. The reason the place you're trying to reach is valuable is because people can't get there. So if you're the kind of person who quits, you're never going to get there. Quitters are the worst. You could give a quitter a map, a treasure map, and a hot air balloon. So it's going to take you right to the treasures. You got a 7-day journey. Here's a sandwich. And halfway through, they'll be like, oh, I'm cold.
Yeah, you just said that, 7 days? Nah.
Yeah, and they'll quit.
Yeah.
Quitters will never make it. And there's a huge subsect of the populace who are basically simply quitters. I've never in my life seen anyone who's determined to get something done. I've never seen somebody who is determined in their heart to get something not getting it. The universe and God is so giving and providing. People think it's difficult out here. I disagree. I've never seen someone wake up and think, this is all I care about. This is all I want. Not get it. Everyone who thought that way everyone who thought the way about money was rich. I've never seen anyone fail. Bro, I've seen people with no credit score and no job determined to get an R8 manage to get one on finance somehow. I've seen it. If it's all you want, you're going to get it.
You're going to find a way to
You're going to find a way.
Yeah.
People go, oh, I want this. If you want it. If you're going to be a man who's going to sit and say, I'm just sad, you are always going to lose in competition to men like me. No. And there has to be losers for there to be winners. I am tired of sympathy. Sympathy doesn't work for anybody. I'm not going to sit here and be sympathetic to people who say they're too sad to try hard to do this. Guess what? Perhaps I was sad every time I did exactly what I was supposed to do and trained anyway. Perhaps I was afraid when I fought anyway. Perhaps I was tired when I worked anyway. This is how you get ahead in life. I don't have a fucking ounce of sympathy for these people who sit here and say, well, I feel this way, so I can't. Then don't do it. Stay down there. The winners are at the top, and the winners at the top don't give a shit about how they feel. We wake up and we perform regardless of how we feel day after day. So if I'm going to ignore my own feelings, I'm certainly not going to take into consideration anybody else's. Yeah. Why am I going to ignore how I feel and make sure I'm constantly performing regardless, flawlessly? And then sit and go, oh, but he doesn't feel good, so he's allowed to fuck up. No, you are not. You're not allowed to fuck up to your ancestors or to God or to yourself. You have to perform.